So we have already seen that the partial pressures are given in a certain ratio and the total pressure is 10 to the 5th. So I can simply take the ratio of partial pressures and estimate the actual thing. So this is 0.4 into 10 to the 5th, this is 0.3 into 10 to the 5th, this is 0.2 into 10 to the 5th, and this is 0.1 into 10 to the 5th, and all these numbers are in pascals. So that's my partial pressure. Now what about rho I star? So rho I star, in fact I can use this expression that it is going to be Pi divided by R star and T. Okay, this we have already written. So Pi is the partial pressure, R star is the universal gas constant, and T of course is the temperature. So for nitrogen, I can plug in the number here. So this would be 0.4 into 10 to the 5th. This is going to be divided by R star, which is 8.314 SI units, and the temperature is given as 20 degrees centigrade. So I will write that as 20 plus 273 to convert it into Kelvin, and this will turn out to be 0.0164, and the units are kilomole per meter cube. So let me write down the units here. These are kilomole per meter cube of the mixture. Likewise, I can do for oxygen. So I have to just put in this, replace the partial pressure here for oxygen, and everything else remains same. So let me give you the number. This would turn out to be 0.123. This one for carbon dioxide would be 0.0082, and for monoxide this would be 0.0041. Okay. All right. What about density, Ri? And these also, let me say the units would be kilogram per meter cube. So the density, as you know, is simply given as, so if I want density of the ith component, then it would be density I star times the molecular weight of that particular species. So suppose I want to get it for nitrogen, then I have already estimated what is rho star for nitrogen, that is this number, and I just have to multiply it with the molecular weight. So what is the molecular weight of nitrogen? So it is a diatomic gas, 14 plus 14. So therefore this number is going to be 0.0164 times 14 plus 14, and let me give you the answer, that is 0.46, and the units I have already written, kilograms per meter cube. Likewise for oxygen, I would get it as 0.0123 times 32, and this would turn out to be 0.39. For carbon dioxide, I would have to multiply 0.0082 with the molecular weight of carbon dioxide, which is 32 plus 12, so that is 44, and this would turn out to be 0.36. Likewise for carbon monoxide, it would be 0.0041 times the molecular weight for carbon monoxide, which is 12 plus 32, 12 plus 16 actually, so that would be 28, and this would be 0.11. Okay. All right. Now I can get the overall density. So if I want to get the overall density of the mixture, that would be simply summation of rho I, and that of course I am going to call as rho, and that would be given as 1.32 kilogram per meter cube. So you can see this is fairly close to what we already know for air. You know, at room temperature we typically use 1.22 kilogram per meter cube. So that's a fairly reasonable approximation. The last thing that I want to talk about is the mass fraction. So that would be rho I by rho. So that's actually a quantity called Mi. So let me put another column for Mi here, and so all I need to do is just take this rho I and divide it with the rho that I have calculated, 1.32 over here. So let me give you these numbers. This would turn out to be 0.35, and I have obtained this by doing 0.46 divided by 1.32. Okay, so that's the mass fraction. This would turn out to be 0.30, this would be 0.27, and this is 0.08. Okay. Notice they are quite different than the other numbers that we got for this case. Okay. The molar fractions. We can now calculate the average molecular weight of this mixture, and that would be given as M and summation of Mi star times Mi, and this of course would be 0.4 times 28, that's your nitrogen, and for oxygen it would be 0.3 times the molecular weight of oxygen, that's 32, plus CO2, so that's 0.2 times 44, plus for carbon monoxide which is 28, so 0.1 times 28, and this number would turn out to be 32.4. Okay. So that's the composition of your mixture. So a couple of interesting observations, the overall density, the overall molecular weight, and I think the most surprising is that if you look at these mole fractions, okay, which also gave us the sense of partial pressures, you know, 0.4, 0.3, 0.2, 0.1, they actually are quite different than the mass fractions. Okay. So I hope you get a sense of what the mixtures are. So we've already talked about now the mass and the molar density of the mixture. We actually want to talk about fluxes because that's what will take us to the Fick's law. For that we need to introduce the concept of velocity. So let me introduce two velocities for you. The velocity based on mass, and then the other, the molar density. So consider there is a multi-component mixture and each species is denoted by the subscript I, and let Vi be the velocity of species I with respect to a stationary frame of reference. Now I can talk about the mass averaged velocity. So mass averaged velocity of the mixture, and this I would like to talk about V, denote this by V. So this is going to be given as summation rho I times Vi, okay, and then by rho I. Okay. So I am weighting the velocity of each component by the density, and then of course normalizing it with the total density. So as you can see, this would reduce to, I could take this inside, so this would be summation rho I by rho times Vi, okay, because this quantity, as you know, corresponds to rho, the density of the mixture, and this of course we know is the mass fraction. So this would be summation Mi Vi. Notice the velocities are vector quantities, so I have put a small tilde below them. Likewise, I can talk about the molar averaged velocity of mixture, and this is given as summation rho I star. So this is the molar density times the velocity, and this of course has to be now normalized with the total molar density of the mixture. So this is rho I star, and this quantity we have called as rho star, right. So therefore, if I denote the molar averaged velocity of the mixture, this is going to be given as summation Mi star times Vi. Okay, so I have talked about a mass averaged velocity and a molar averaged velocity. Now these of course are both bulk velocities. So now you can imagine the following, that there are at least two components in a mixture, component A and B, and each one of them, component A has a velocity and component B has a velocity. So A will be called VA and B will be called VB. And I can now talk about the velocity of the mixture, the average velocity of the mixture. So that's some kind of a weighted average of VA and VB. And now I can talk about the velocity of each species with respect to the average velocity of the mixture. Okay. So, so the original velocity with respect to a stationary frame of reference, right, and now I can talk about the velocity with respect to the average velocity of the mixture. So that we refer to as the diffusion velocity. So let me write that down for you. The diffusion velocity is the velocity of species with respect to the bulk velocity of mixture. So we can talk about the mass diffusion velocity of species I and that would be given as Vi minus V, or I can talk about the molar diffusion velocity of the same species, and here I can talk about Vi star minus V star. Okay. So the diagram is like this. So let's say there are these molecules A and B in a mixture, and let me say this represents the bulk of A, this represents the bulk of B. So this is moving with VA, this perhaps is moving with VB, and the average of this is moving with V. So the resultant is perhaps this resultant is moving with V. Okay? And the diffusion velocity is what is the velocity of A when I sit on the frame which moves with velocity V. All right. And therefore, I can now talk about fluxes, which is what I am going to use for the Fick's law. So, we will talk about the mass diffusion flux. And these are actually relative to the bulk or the average velocity of the mixture. So I refer to them as Ji. So J is the symbol for the flux, the diffusion flux, and the subscript I refers to the species. And the formula is that Ji is going to be simply rho I times V I minus V. Okay, so that's the mass diffusion flux. I can also talk about the molar diffusion flux, and that's going to be given as again Ji but with a superscript star, and this would depend on rho I but with a star, and the velocities are also going to be now the molar velocities. Okay. So one I can say is a mass flux and the other is a molar flux, and because they are with respect to the bulk of the mixture, therefore they are some kind of a diffusion flux. And I could now say, well, I want to measure flux with respect to a stationary frame of reference and not really a moving frame of reference, and those are then simply mass flux. So with respect to a stationary frame of reference, I can talk about a mass flux as well as a molar flux. The mass flux I am going to denote by Ni, and this is going to be given as rho I Vi. So notice this is the absolute velocity. I am not subtracting from it the bulk velocity of the mixture. The molar flux, same notation Ni star, and this time I am going to be talking about rho I star and the Vi star. Now we can notice that Ni is actually rho I times V plus Vi minus V. So I have added and subtracted a V from this definition, and this quantity over here Vi minus V times rho I, this as you would recall is simply Ji. So I could write this as rho I times V plus Ji, and this in turn is simply Mi times rho V plus Ji.